I love him, and I love his journey. Mike Tyson sparks psychedelic buzz. Athletes embrace magic mushrooms, increase focus, and recovery. Mike Tyson, the legendary heavyweight boxing champ, is once again in the spotlight. Not for his wild antics in the ring, but for his unconventional training regimen involving psychedelic mushrooms. In a recent appearance on Logan Paul's podcast, Tyson revealed that he consumes mushrooms while training for his upcoming fight against Jake Paul on November 15th. "Takes me to heaven, baby," Tyson exclaimed, adding yet another layer to his complex persona. Tyson isn't alone in his exploration of psychedelics. A growing number of athletes across various sports have begun incorporating psilocybin, the active compound in magic mushrooms, into their training routine. These athletes include professional hockey players, golfers, and MMA fighters, and are mostly reportedly microdosing, taking small amounts of the drug that do not produce a psychoactive effect, but are believed to increase focus and aid recovery. Similarly, a retired NHL player, Riley Coate, who has advocated for psilocybin's benefits in managing the long-term effects of concussions, shared that at least a dozen active NHL players are microdosing. Coate, who played as an enforcer for the Philadelphia Flyers, said the benefits extend beyond sports. This is not even about just the hockey performance or sports performance. It's just life performance. Mushrooms have really gotten it big in the MMA world. The practice has gained traction with Rashad Evans, a former UFC light heavyweight champion. He disclosed that he knows at least 30 UFC fighters who regularly microdose. I'm having trouble talking today. Evans himself used mushrooms while training for his last fight in 2022, crediting them with reducing soreness and aiding recovery. "Next day, I feel totally rebooted and ready to do it again," Evans said. Ian McCall, another retired MMA fighter who has worked with fighters using the substances for the past 5 years, he noted the practice only gained widespread attention in the last 2 years. One of his clients, Mark Irwin, a bare-knuckle brawler, has even competed while under the influence of a significant dose of mushrooms, like the ancient Viking berserkers. While the use of psychedelics in sports has been growing quietly, it was Tyson's openness about his usage that catapulted the topic into mainstream conversation. Tyson has credited psychedelics with helping him turn his life around, lose 100 pounds, and improve his relationship. He also attributes his return to boxing to the mental clarity and focus provided by mushrooms. While some athletes tout the benefits, the National Institute on Drug Abuse warns of potential health risks, including increased heart rate, nausea, and paranoia. Oh, that's the feds always adding their little scare tactics. I, for one, like to see this. Inspired by Mike Tyson's story arc of really having an incredibly tough life growing up, doing some fairly dastardly things, being accountable for that and going to prison, and then using psychedelics and reading and self-education really change his life and refocus his life and the purpose of it. I'm really interested in what you guys have to say, and I can pile on as we go. So this is Mathieu St. Germain, a little tongue-tied on a Monday for the High at Night.
Man, I find this very, very interesting that mushrooms have helped Mike Tyson evolve so much and develop his character more. I think that's overall is pretty good. I mean, and I've seen some videos of him just like eating like handfuls of mushrooms at a time and just like doing full-on interviews and stuff. So he can definitely function.
I don't know if you should be fighting on mushrooms. It can be dangerous for people.
I mean, wouldn't you just be punching more things?
It really depends on the dose. That was one of the first things that Terrence McKenna was talking about in his Food of the Gods. As recently, I shared a story a month ago or so that's recently been backed up by more archaeologists and folks studying, the origins of humanity. Mm-hmm. That really small doses of mushrooms really focus your mind and create greater visual acuity. You can see sharper. You can focus farther at a distance. So McKenna's thought was people were using smaller amounts of the mushrooms, able to hunt better and subside better on the savannas where they discovered them. And then some people were taking larger doses and they were finding like up-leveling to their audio component of their brain. Mm-hmm. That it may be what started symbolic thought and then language.
Interesting.
Yeah, so do drugs, you guys.
Interesting. Go ahead, Yarrow. I know you've been just biting your tongue right now.
I mean, I'm only biting my tongue because I have nothing bad to say. I have nothing bad to say. You can't reach your ear? Which is like, it's challenging for me because I like to remind people of, the totality of Mike Tyson's CV and the things outside the ring. I think Mathieu actually really framed this in a way that speaks to me, which is, first of all, Mike did pay his debt to society for the decisions he made. And that's a really, really important concept in this country, is that when you pay your debt to your society, you don't have to live under the stigma of those choices. The other thing also is Mike has been on a journey, and he has shared that. And he shared it in a way that doesn't necessarily feel like it's just about self-promotion or about promoting a gummy the shape of an ear. He has shared his journey in a way that even on his show about him and the pigeons, and then after that, and his involvement in cannabis has been, I think, very authentic, really. And so I'm not in the Mike Tyson compliment business, but I think that this idea about
it's a holiday.
Well, I think this idea about sharing what people are doing to grow and level up it is a form of leadership, because it is modeling, I think, what all of us want to do, which is to continue to evolve and to change. And so I'm not mad at this. I think that Mike has maybe not purposely or consciously, but positioned himself as one of the spokespeople around psychotropic substances and sports and athletes, and what works and what might be beneficial, and how mindset and then plant medicine can help athletes to evolve. And so I don't have anything bad to say today. I'd love to just disagree to keep it spicy. But I think this is all very positive, and I think that this article doesn't glamorize, but also didn't overhype risks. And so I think this was a great piece of writing for Mathieu to deliver today.
Fair enough. What are your thoughts on this, Jenny Beth?
No, I love it. I mean, I think, psilocybin is amazing for spiritual and physical and mental health. And so I think that I love that he's growing as a person. He's being open about that. He's not shied away from the things that he's done in his past that were not awesome. He's kind of attacked those, addressed those head on, and is just trying to be a more conscious, better person. So, I mean, I'm all for letting people evolve. I know that some people are not cool with that. I've definitely had to leave a couple women's chats lately as Mike Tyson's dropped more products, but, let people grow. Interesting.
I wonder, has he grown enough? Do you think he's taller than Yarrow now?